One year for Lent, my mom said, I'm not giving anything up for Lent this year. Instead, I'm going to do acts of service. And so she would make us dinner. She would come and watch the kids. Just all kinds of things to help us.
Welcome everybody to The Pour, the place where faith and culture are served together. My name is Father Christian. Today we are going to be talking about joy versus happiness. What's the difference? How do you attract more of it? And what does your faith have to do with joy? To get to that, we had to bring a flower full of joy at this church that I serve at. She is a co-chair of our outreach committee because all she likes to do is just reach out in love to serve this church and beyond, especially those who are the voiceless, who need our help. Her name is none other than Tami, aka Tami Larkan. Yay! On the show, everyone gets a personalized drink.
Yeah.
So lemons, sweet, a lot of zest, a lot of fun. This is called Swoon. And the reason why I was chosen for you is because you do swoon us with your love. I saw a swoon, I was like, that's Tami.
Thank you. When I thought of the lemons, I thought of my mother because she always said when life gives you lemons, turn them into sunshine. So, there.
This is working out so well already.
Yeah.
Oh, went everywhere.
Thank you.
Okay.
Delish.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sure.
It's not bad, actually. I like it.
So at this church, we have done a lot of talk about joy and versus happiness. Mm-hmm. You're on here today because you just epitomize joy. That I know you go through challenges in life. I know you got a full plate. Mm-hmm. You're a mother of three. You have a husband who has got a full plate. You somehow are able to have this peace that's beyond all understanding, as we like to say in the church.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that. Like, where does that come from?
I think having a servant's heart and being thankful brings me joy. It's different than happiness, mm-hmm. and it is internal, mm-hmm. and it is something that I seek out.
There is tremendous joy to be found, mm-hmm. and peace of mind to be found when you are serving.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your mom, mm-hmm. right? Because you had the importance of having a good influence in your life.
Yeah.
Your mother modeled this for you?
Yeah. We grew up in a very faith-based home. We grew up going to church every Sunday. We served others. We had others come into our home. We went out into the community to serve. I saw the joy that it brought to my parents and our family, and I think maybe that's what inspired me. When I come to St. Mary's, I experience joy. When I am here serving in, whether it's Mary's Kitchen or on the outreach committee or at the manger, whatever it is that we're doing here at St. Mary's, I experience joy.
Yes. In contemporary religion, mm-hmm. And sometimes in the church, is that we go to consume. I'm going to church so I can feel better and then go on with the rest of my week. Mm-hmm. But I think what Jesus is calling us into, though, too, is that you're part of this family and part of this community. And how do you serve, become part of serving and loving on them? Because mm-hmm. that just creates so much love. Mm-hmm. So from you go and you're part of this great church family, but you treat them like they're your family.
They are.
This woman has called my wife and I and said, you guys need to leave on Valentine's Day and let me take your children. Treating us like we're your siblings and being like, hey, you guys need to go.
Yeah.
And because that brings you joy to know that.
Because you don't have family here to watch your kids. We would not have had a third kid if it weren't for my parents being here. One year for Lent, my mom said, I'm not giving anything up for Lent this year. Instead, I'm going to do acts of service. And so she would make us dinner. She would come and watch the kids. Just all kinds of things to help us. And it was so beautiful, and that's my intention for you guys. And it brings me joy, not only to be with your boys, whom I absolutely adore, but just to be able to offer that to you, because that's what my mom did for me. 10 years from now, when your boys are growing up, Anastasia's going to say to someone, hey, you guys go out on a date and let me have your boys.
It's been modeled to us,
yes.
So now go be the model to others. Yes, it sends these ripple effects
exactly.
throughout. For your mother, God rest her soul, Jesus was so alive in her. Yeah. I mean, she, in her kitchen, right, started a nonprofit that now is a major nonprofit in town that serves the homeless.
Yeah.
Would you have friends who are like unhoused, sometimes coming through your home?
I do, yeah.
You could still?
Yeah.
Still.
Folks
out there who are unhoused that you guys taking the plunge to say they are our siblings.
Yeah.
Let us love on them. I love this, what you were mentioning about Lent. And maybe a good way for a lot of us to start is once around the corner, if you're watching this in real time, 40 days of service. Is that what your mom did?
In that particular Lent season, yes.
So every day, was it a small or large act of service?
It wasn't just for me. Like, she did acts of service for her office. In her office, we joked that she didn't really work. Her job was to spread joy in the office. Like, I am not kidding you. She started off in that office when I was in high school, and she stayed there until she passed away. Her job was to be the joy and the sunshine and the light in that office. Like, she didn't work.
You have something, we've been talking a lot about your mom, and there was something you were going to actually read at her funeral, but at the time, obviously, your heart was pretty full to get up there in front of like 300 people who showed up. You want to read it now?
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just want to read one part of it.
Yeah.
My mother had a very tumultuous start to her life, and she found Jesus while she was in a foster home, and she was Jewish. She then went on to become baptized Catholic and eventually became a member of St. Mary's. One thing that I wrote is, I can't even imagine how difficult it must have been for her to continue spreading sunshine amidst so much suffering. We often ask ourselves, why? Why all the suffering? Why all the pain? Why the cancer 4 times? Why cut a life short that was so powerful in spreading God's love to so many? We will never know the reason why, but perhaps it is so that each of us can always have a little piece of Marnie Hope's sunshine in our pockets so that we can continue her legacy of spreading joy. And it wasn't happiness, it was joy. It was internal, and she did spread sunshine.
You have a good relationship with Jesus.
Oh, I love Jesus.
Tell me more about that.
I just love Jesus. I mean, like, you say you're a Jesus freak. I love Jesus. I feel like when I pray, it's not, I don't use fancy words. That's why I hate praying out loud, like at my Bible study, because some people are like, they can say all these fancy things.
It sounds like a Shakespearean sonnet.
Yes. And that's not the way I pray. I'm like, Jesus is right here constantly, and I'm constantly in conversation with him.
So do you hear him respond to you?
Sometimes I hear him respond to me, and I'm getting more aware of that.
Is it a voice?
No, it's a feeling. Last week, we had something happen at work, and it was a little upsetting. Just reminded me that not everyone is good. Not everyone is trustworthy. It was disappointing. At the women's retreat, we had a moment of quiet time, and I opened up the Bible. It was Psalm 37. I just randomly opened it up, and I didn't even know what Psalm 37 was, and I started reading it. Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong. For like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do this. And it was like, hello?
He's speaking to you.
Yeah, he's speaking to me. Another one happened. Beck and I do the verse of the day every morning on the way to school on the Bible app. And it was the day after we got Cece, the baby that we're taking care of with Safe Families. And I was literally up all night. I'm 51 years old, and I haven't done that in 15 years. And it was exhausting. I was like, holy moly, this is going to be tough. And I knew we had a month coming up. And the verse of the day was, God's going to give you something to do, and you do it, and you trust in him, because if he gives it to you to do, there's a reason, or something along those lines. Because then they come on and they explain it. The lady was like, you're going to go through times in your life where God puts something in front of you that is challenging and it's hard. And this was literally the day after we got her, and I was up all night. And I'm like, but then she's like, God's doing this for a reason, and you have to trust in him with all your heart. And I'm like, amen. Like God is talking to me,
right.
It's like so cool.
Yes, and so I think a piece of that, though, too, is that you have chosen to receive those messages from God.
Yeah.
You have chosen to seek God's will. Going back to the first story was you had something happen at work, which could erupt a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of loss of faith in humanity. And you went to a woman's retreat.
Yeah.
So you had that already on your calendar of like spiritual formation, spiritual love, good self-care. And then God spoke to you and gave you this psalm. Then this next one, you and your son have a formation tool that is this verse of the day and the reflection on it, which gave you the strength to know that God is encouraging you to say, I know you're up all night as a 51-year-old woman with you hung up that jersey a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's retired.
Yeah.
And here you are,
Yeah.
not getting more than an hour, 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And then God encouraging you to say, trust, trust, trust. It might not be easy, but there's so much fruit to bear.
Yeah.
And it really, you received it because you trust him.
I feel that I have pure trust in God's will.
How did that start?
I don't know. I used to want to be a nun. I haven't had terrible things happened to me in my life. The worst thing, obviously, is my mom dying. Even then, like, I could find joy because now she's literally present at every single thing that we do. Like, she's here right now. She's watching us. Like, so I don't have to call her afterwards and be like, oh, Mimi, today, Christian and I, we did the poor, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's at every single thing that we do. I just think that that's just, like, one way of, like, looking at death, I guess, is that she gets to experience all of it, not just the events that she's present at. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes absolute sense.
Okay.
And again, you're choosing in to see through eternal life. We say at a funeral, life has not ended, it has changed. You have given us some examples here of like you are going to retreats, you have a prayer life, you talk to Jesus, you share your faith with others, and you do a lot of service work, like you act like Jesus. You go out and serve and love others, and surprise, surprise, it gives you so much joy.
Joy, yeah.
Where would you say for someone to start? Maybe someone who's a little cynical or struggling. What would you say?
I think Jesus is first. I mean, like, I personally cannot get through my day without the Lord. If I'm in my car, I'm listening to WayFM, and it's just joyful music. I don't listen to the regular radio. I only listen to WayFM, and it's just praising God. So I'm constantly praising. I also think that friends and family are crucial. I could not get through my life raising my kids without my support system, which was my St. Mary's people. And also I have other groups like the PTA moms, but you have to surround yourself with other positive people.
You have to know also who might not be a part of that team.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that.
And it's not you being judgmental. It's just you saying, well, let's keep the healthy, positive flow here.
Yes. I am going to be taking a class with Reverend Tara and Jen Morris. Sign up for it if you want to. It's boundaries class because that's a little bit one of my problems.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries,
It's
saying
a good
no.
one. It's a great book.
It's definitely a problem for me.
I
But
just invaded your boundary and gave you some more.
thank you.
Where is the church going to be in 25 años?
I think that the church is going to be thriving.
Okay, why?
Back in the olden days, the church was responsible for doing the good. The church was the one that said, we have to look out for the poor. We have to look out for the people who don't have health care services. It was the church. Everyone wants to do these things. You know, I don't think there's anyone out there who is saying, oh, we don't want to take care of the poor. We don't want to help those who need. Who is the impetus for getting all of that done? The church.
Yes.
So where is the church going to be? Thriving.
Yes. And it'll be a much more, I think, people will be choosing in more lovingly, not because they have to, because they want to.
Yeah.
Tami Larkan, thank you so much for coming on the show and spreading your joy. Do please share this episode with someone you think needs it right now. Do them a favor and say, wow, this wonderful woman came on to talk about joy. Share this away, and subscribe to this channel here at St. Mary's Episcopal Church as we grow and build this community that we look and find faith in culture and beyond. All right, everyone, we'll see you next week.
We're going to be like editing all this stuff, right?
Yeah.